Coming up on KX News at 10, there are shelters and services available for North Dakota's homeless. But what happens when supplies run low? We'll introduce you to the woman behind a solution. And officials in Washington talks next steps for the coronavirus. Are U.S. travel restrictions on the table? Plus, is more money or exercise better for your mental health? The results are in.
Putting North Dakota first. KX News at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Renee Cooper. Thanks for joining us for KX News at 10. Every day, even here in North Dakota, people suffer from homelessness and hunger. There are shelters available to provide help, but sometimes their supplies run scarce. Malik Wilson tells us how one woman is doing what she can to pitch in tonight's top story.
Minot's Men Winter Refuge is going on its 6th year, helping homeless men get back on their feet and a place to stay, November through April.
We are a private 501c3, so we're funded solely by funds that we raise ourselves and grants that I write. And we get incredible support from the community of Minot.
One supporter that stands out in particular is Kristen Dion. Never before hearing about the refuge until a month ago when she was stunned to hear something that changed her life.
There were only 2 meals signed up for the rest of the month of January. And I pulled my calendar open and I was like, oh, that can't be real.
She immediately took action by creating a meal train that would serve the 10 to 15 men that stay a night, 7 days a week during operation hours.
How the meal train works is people will volunteer for a day and they can prepare the meal and have it hot and ready to go and deliver to the shelter directly between 6 and 6:30.
It doesn't have to be a cooked meal. It can be a money donation, a canned good donation, or even just a gift card from a local restaurant. It's all about just having a community effort.
There's a lot of opportunity in this community, whether it's with the Men's Winter Refuge or with another organization, to get involved.
Mike Zimmer agrees. He says it's the little things that put smiles on everyone's faces.
The guys are just amazingly appreciative of that, and they've never really complained about my cooking, but the fact that they're not eating my cooking every night now on a nightly basis is it's just been amazing for our shelter.
Reporting for KX News in Minot, Malik Wilson.
Want to learn more about how you can donate? Head on over to our website. That's kxnet.com. Well, the Minot Area Homeless Coalition does so much more than it seems. The group is constantly working to do more than just assure a roof over someone's head.
You got people who are still making $10 an hour who were making $10 an hour 8 years ago, but the cost to live is higher. So that's why you see a lot of people who are going to food pantries, why a lot of people are taking a meal and going to the soup kitchen, because they're supplementing so that they can survive.
Well, the Minot Area Homeless Coalition serves as an anchor that connects many other resources on behalf of a client. Since January, the MAHC has helped about 100 clients with financials alone, but its reach is much wider than that. It's the agency's job to prevent or put an end to a person's homelessness. There are many ways it works to do that. It may be providing emergency food or shelter, assistance with rent payments, transportation, or even teaching money management.
People think that that we're just giving somebody money. No, it's a helping hand. It's not a handout. We're helping people to continue to succeed and be good community members. And everything that we can do to allow that person to become more viable, that's what we want to do.
Well, the coalition stands ready to fill the needs of its 7-county area as it comes. And for example, McLeod said he's anxious to see if the nearly 30 people displaced after the downtown apartment fire in Minot were able to make it out with proper identification like driver's licenses, birth certificates, or passports. If need be, the agency is there to help with that. Well, Rolette County Sheriff's Office posted information to social media about a police pursuit this weekend. Deputies reported they assisted in a vehicle pursuit that was started by the Pierce County Sheriff's Office on Highway 3. This was Friday night just after 10 o'clock. The driver fleeing had a taillight out and headlight out, and the officers say they were driving recklessly. RCSO set out spike strips that were able to blow out one tire on the fleeing white Ford F-150. The report says the driver continued at a high rate of speed through Dunseith and north to the Canadian port of entry. They then rammed into a barricade at the port and continued at a high rate of speed into Canada. The sheriff's office ended the pursuit shortly after. Now, the truck was eventually located several miles north in Manitoba. It was unoccupied. KX News did reach out to RCSO. A deputy told us there's no additional information at this time, but stick with KX News for updates. Now, Health and Human Service Secretary Alex Azar told CBS News the coronavirus has not spread enough in the U.S. to require nationwide restrictions. He says right now the department is not advising any measures in the United States, including travel restrictions and closures.
State or local public health offices, which are the front lines of response, might make their own decisions to do that. But at this point, we do not have sufficient spread in the United States that would indicate those measures, but we're not taking any of them off the table.
Now, Azar stressed that Health and Human Services is still keeping the possibility of any type of response on the table for now. Well, a vaccine for the virus is still in development, and health officials say it's at least a year away. Some lawmakers are pushing for it to be covered by Medicare, making the vaccine free for one of the most at-risk populations, senior citizens. A federal task force led by Vice President Mike Pence is monitoring developments. He says they are prepared to deploy federal assistance to affected communities.
I'm more confident than ever that we are bringing a whole-of-government approach. The president has directed the full resources of the federal government.
Now, President Trump will meet with drug makers at the White House tomorrow. He's expected to visit the National Institutes of Health and the CDC headquarters later on this week. Well, a new study has found exercise might improve your mental health rather than your bank account. The saying, money doesn't buy happiness, was found to be true in the study by Yale and Oxford. A survey of 1.2 million Americans shows people who exercise are significantly happier than people who don't, even if they don't have a lot of money. We spoke with people in the area to see which was true for them, and a lot of them actually said money is more important.
Financially independent, that means I'm going to have more time during the day, because if I'm having to work all day, if I work an 8-10 hour day, the last other thing I want to do is go work out. So if I have money, I'm probably not working as much, so I have more time to get up and do things.
Very interesting. Well, back in December, KX News brought you the story of baby Ellie. She died at just 5 weeks old in December of 2018, and her parents have been honoring her memory ever since. Last December, on what would have been Ellie's first birthday, her parents held a celebration of life. In their daughter's honor, they invited the Minot community to celebrate and give back to the city that Ellie was born and buried in. Nearly $3,600 was donated to the Minot Area Homeless Coalition, making the Christmas holiday especially memorable.
I am truly, truly grateful, and I know I heard people as they came in, and they said, what's this? I said, this is a blessing from a family and their young child who's no longer here. And it would just break down.
A touching story. In total, more than $12,500 was raised at two events, one in Minot and another in the family's home city of Toronto. The remainder of the funds raised went to the Souris Valley United Way's Dolly Parton Imagination Library and the Hopeful Heart Project in Fargo. Well, coming up next on KX News at 10, ever tried some good old homemade venison sausage or jerky? Tonight, we'll show you how it's made. And a very special birthday today, how kids are celebrating a legend generations later. Plus, your full forecast is still to come.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.